Hello, I'm Skinnybob, your favorite extraterrestrial tour guide through the mysteries that history books politely ignore. Tonight we dive deep into the ruins and relics of forgotten civilizations. Not just piles of stone, not just myths and legends, but the smoking gun evidence of ancient technology. Systems of water management, architecture, agriculture, and even astronomy so advanced they make our modern world look like a clumsy reboot. Let's begin high in the Peruvian Andes, at the fortress-like terraces of Ollantaytambo. On the surface, they look like giant stone steps for titans, but mainstream archaeologists admit these weren't stairs at all. They were agricultural laboratories. Layer by layer, ancient engineers acclimatized plants to higher altitudes. Imagine slowly teaching corn or potatoes to thrive thousands of feet above their natural range. That's bioengineering by selective breeding, 10,000 years ago. With this living technology, entire communities could survive indefinitely in mountaintop fortresses. But agriculture was only part of the system. These same builders mastered hydraulics. At Incamayao Water Temple, they carved channels, reservoirs, and fountains with such precision that water still flows today. Engineers from the University of Virginia studied the site and confirmed the builders understood advanced fluid dynamics, avoiding hydraulic jumps, controlling pressure, even using water for ritual and possibly energy. Think about that. Stone Age engineers working with principles modern hydrologists need textbooks to explain. Across the ocean in Mesopotamia, the story repeats. The cradle of civilization is said to have emerged suddenly, armed with writing, astronomy, laws, and irrigation. But what if that knowledge was inherited? Temples lined with impossible stone carvings, massive winged Lamassu statues weighing tens of tons, and canals that rival anything built today. The Assyrians, Babylonians, and Sumerians didn't invent civilization from scratch. They were picking up the pieces of something older, something that collapsed long before the history books begin. Notice the pattern? Peru, Mesopotamia, Egypt, all obsessed with water. From Peru's terraces and canals to Mesopotamian aqueducts to the Nile-fed temples of Egypt, water wasn't just survival. It was sacred. It was power. In Iran, archaeologists uncovered a 2,000-year-old clay pipe system that still worked, distributing water smartly, even filtering mud. They called it a smart water system because it minimized blockages and optimized flow, a technology we only recently began copying in modern urban design. Does that sound like a first attempt to you, or does it sound like the rediscovery of an older blueprint? Let's jump to Sri Lanka's Sigiriya mountain. On top of this plateau fortress sits a reservoir carved into solid rock, but hidden in the jungles nearby are massive ancient water tanks, some stretching 7 miles long with embankments 60 feet high. Independent engineers estimate it would cost millions of dollars today just to recreate the earthworks. And yet we're told this was built by primitive kingdoms with copper chisels and manpower alone. If you believe that, I've got a spaceship to sell you. Now head to Mexico, to the lost city of Tenochtitlan, the Venice of the Aztecs. Built on floating islands, it held hundreds of temples, palaces, and canals, supporting nearly 500,000 people. When the Spanish arrived, they were stunned. A metropolis larger and cleaner than any European city at the time. Fresh drinking water flowed in through aqueducts, sewage out through canals. A sustainable city built on a lake centuries before Europeans figured out plumbing. Primitive? Please. And of course, we can't skip Egypt. The pyramids of Giza aren't just tombs. They are machines of stone, aligned with astronomical precision, scaled to planetary measurements, and, here's the kicker, riddled with mysterious water channels. Beneath the Sphinx, narrow conduits run not outward but inward, as if designed to bring water into the temple. Robert Schoch's studies show the Sphinx enclosure eroded by thousands of years of rainfall, dating it to at least 9,000 years old. Possibly even 36,000 BC. That's not just old, that's older than civilization itself. And notice again, the builders encoded their mastery of cycles, star alignments, solstices, lunar standstills, the precession of the equinox. These weren't farmers guessing at the sky, they were astronomers, engineers, and maybe even physicists, charting time itself in stone. So what are we really looking at? Is this the work of the civilizations we know, Inca, Sumer, Aztec, Egyptian? Or are they the inheritors of a much older, lost global culture? One obliterated by the cataclysms of the Younger Dryas, leaving behind scattered blueprints in stone, waiting for survivors to rediscover and reuse. Think about it. The precision, the scale, the obsession with water, agriculture, and the stars. These weren't random projects. They were systems of survival, technologies of stability. And they suggest one terrifying conclusion. Humanity didn't climb a straight ladder of progress. We're standing on the rubble of a civilization that fell so hard, most of its memory was erased. But not all of it. Because if you know where to look, Peru, Mesopotamia, Egypt, Sri Lanka, Mexico, the stones are still whispering. And what they whisper is clear. We are not the first advanced civilization on Earth. So next time you hear the phrase, ancient technology, don't roll your eyes. Look deeper, because what mainstream calls myth might just be memory. And if they could do it once, maybe they could do it again. Or maybe, just maybe, they never really left.